Hello guys, this is Professor DK and welcome to the first episode of Android Nuggets. Most of you have been asking me if all the apps that I actually make in my videos will work on Android Studio 3.0. So currently, as you can see, I have been doing all my videos in Android Studio 2.3.3. So all the projects that I have, so will that work on Android Studio 3.0? So definitely all of this will work on Android 3.0, because if you look at Google's if you go to their official website, so you see that Android Studio 3.0 has some a couple of good features. Most of these features are actually aimed at improving the coding and also improving the performance, and not really at the designing, introducing a new layout as such. So that way none of the code that we have already written will take a hit. So all of that will work. And if you see here, so they have developed a new programming language called as Kotlin. So there was actually a very good question asked by Ankit Tiwari. So as Kotlin has been the official language now, is it good to go with Java or should we switch over to Kotlin? I mean to say, what is the scope of Java in future when it comes to Android programming? So Ankit and to others who have the similar doubts, I would say that Java, if you go over to their official website, it says that Java is now running on over 2 billion devices. So as such, Java will not be taken over by Kotlin, and Kotlin is actually based on Java, and all the fundamental concepts of Java are still included in Kotlin. So what exactly is Kotlin? So Kotlin basically makes it easier for us to code in Android Studio. Basically all the code that you write in Java, it is much more easier to write now with Kotlin. So as such, Kotlin will not replace Java, and Java has a lot of scope in future because there are so many devices working on Java, and lot of projects and lot of forums that help in the development of Java. So Java will not be taken over by any language, and Kotlin is mainly designed for Android programming and not as a mainstream language which you can use in other platforms. So it is mainly developed for Android programming, and there were other doubts that were asked. So let me go to the first question. So Mitesh Patel had asked me if Android Studio, if you have to install Android Studio, so which laptop would be the best? So I would say that any laptop with 4 GB RAM and an i3 processor will do. But the problem with 4 GB RAM is if you run 2 or more 3 big applications simultaneously, then it will crash, and you might have a problem because Android Studio will stop responding to you. So your laptop will basically run slower. So I would recommend that if you're buying a new laptop, so you would better buy a laptop with 8 GB. So that way you can run multiple applications as well as Android will run smoothly. So that is that. And next, he had also asked me if i3 processor is enough. i3 processor will work fine. You just need a bigger RAM. So about my laptop, it is an i3 processor, and I have 8 GB RAM. So that I have been working with Android Studio for over 2 years now, and everything works perfectly fine. And another question by Sweetie Buji. So she had asked me, how do you get the Android Studio app? So I searched in Google Play Store, it's not there. So Android Studio is not an app. It's actually an IDE which was developed by Google for creating apps. So if you want to start with Android development, so I'll provide the link to download Android Studio in the description below, so you can go ahead and download that. And before you move it to the next question, so what are the other features that you see in Android Studio 3.0? So it says that your Java 8 language features, which I guess is fine. It's not that big an upgrade. So layout editor has better drag and drop. Okay, so they have done a couple of small changes here and there, but this is the major change we see with Android Studio 3.0, the Kotlin programming language. And the other major change is the Android profiler. So if you scroll down, you see that they have included a new thing called Android profiler. So it helps you understand the performance of your app, and it also gives you the memory profiler, the network profiler. So all these basically help you understand how the app actually functions, the interior working of the app. So that's actually a good thing. So that's a new change that we see. That's a big change, actually, I can say. And another thing is the support for Android Things. So if you follow Google I/O, so they have started Android Things platform. So Android Things is basically broadly you can say that it's just Internet of Things. So if you are someone who is interested in Internet of Things, then you can develop apps for that. And this is actually a good this is actually another good thing about Android Studio 3.0. So some of you have asked me, is it good to upgrade? So actually, if you observe, so Android Studio 3.0 was released somewhere around 25th October. So, and I'm still using Android Studio 2.3. So you would be asking me, why haven't I upgraded? So I normally do not upgrade whenever a new version of Android comes. So I usually wait for around 1 to 2 months, because that way I know if there is any error or bugs that everyone is facing. So sometimes it's not that every upgrade is actually mandatory, because there might be problems with the newer version. So until that newer version gets stable, I do not normally download it. And I guess it's already been 2 months now. So I guess it's time to upgrade, because Android Studio keeps changing according to the newer Android versions that are getting developed. So Android Studio Oreo is gonna come. So all that, will require a newer version of Android and newer things that will help you develop the app, and you will need better development tools. So that way, upgrading and also enhancing your knowledge every 2 to 3 months is required, because whatever you have learned 3 months back may not even be valid today. So that way, Android is such a technology wherein you have to keep updating yourself and try to be on par with the newer technologies. So I guess it's time for all of you to upgrade as well. So if you are on Android Studio 2.3, then I guess we'll start with how you can upgrade to Android Studio 3.0. So there are two methods. So if you are someone who already has Android Studio 2.3, you can go ahead to help, and under help you have this section called check for updates. So when you click on check for updates, it will show you if there is a newer version of Android which is stable that you can upgrade to. Alright, so when Android Studio 3.0 was released, this was actually you would not actually get this update, because until it gets stable, Android Studio will not let you to upgrade. So now you can see that platform and plugin updates, you get a dialog box which asks you to upgrade it. And if you are working on a 32-bit Windows, so I would say that you should not upgrade it, because considering that it has only a few changes, and you actually may not even use it. So that way you can still use Android Studio 2.3, which is a very good version of Android Studio. So I guess it's better that you stick to that, because they say here that if you plan to debug and all that, so 32-bit Windows will should actually keep using Android Studio 2.3. So if you are someone who has 32-bit Windows, then I suggest you that you do not upgrade. For others, you can just go ahead and click on download and you can upgrade. So I'll not be doing this, because I want to show you the other way in how you can upgrade. So I'll just close this and see. I'm showing you this other way, because what happens is sometimes when a new version is released, when you click on check for updates, you actually wouldn't get this dialog. It would say that you are already on the recent version. But someone who wants to check out the new features and play with the new version of Android Studio, then this method is for you. So just type in, so go to Google and just type in Android Studio setup download. So the first link, so you need to click on the first link. So it says download Android Studio and SDK tool. So click on that. I'll provide this link in the description below as well, so that you can go ahead and download that. So here you have it. So this is the link. So Sweetie, who had asked me how you can get Android Studio, so this is where you need to download Android Studio. It's not an app, it's a software, so you need to download it. It's around 683 MBs and the version is 3.0.1. And this may not even be the same if you are downloading it maybe after a month after the video has been published, because it keeps changing. But nevertheless, you can download this, and I've already downloaded this. So I'll just show you how you can upgrade. So you have this Android Studio, and you have created a lot of projects with this. So you might be wondering if you will be losing any of the projects. So the answer is no, you won't be losing any of your projects. All of that will be saved, and you'll just be upgrading to that. That's all. So you need not uninstall your current version. You just need to download this, and after downloading it, I'll show you how you can install it. So just go to where you have downloaded it. So I have already downloaded it here. So it's around 681 MBs for me because I downloaded it on 26th October, I guess. So nevertheless, it must start with 171 dot something. So it must be something like this. And as you can see, I have all the other versions of Android Studio, the older versions. So this is the latest version. So let me just go ahead and click that. So it says that you need to exit the application and then continue the installation. So before you click on OK, just close the application, close Android Studio, and then click on OK. So here you have it. So it says that a version of Android Studio is already installed. It is recommended that you remove older versions. So as I told you, you need not uninstall the previous version manually. So everything will be taken care of by the Android Studio setup itself. So click on next. So it says that it will remove all of the program files under Android Studio new, and it cannot be undone. So this is where I have stored it. It need not be the same for you. So it is whatever you had given the name of the folder when you installed it. So it will be different for you, and it cannot be undone. So they're saying that whatever program files that you have will be removed. So that doesn't mean that you'll be losing all your projects. So do not worry, and you can click on continue. The program files are not your program files. It's basically the program files that are related to Android Studio. So here, welcome to Android Studio setup. So click on next. So you can go ahead and install virtual device as well, but currently I do not need the virtual device, so just gonna click on next. And I do not have space in my C drive, so I'm just gonna install it in F, and then I'm gonna click on next, install. So until that is done, let me just solve all your queries. So the next thing that was asked is, by 808 Productions, he asked me if this will work with 3.0.1. Yeah, definitely it will work. And also, can you make the video a little clearer? I have trouble distinguishing the different brackets. I've already set it to max quality. So here's the thing, guys. So I use this ice cream recorder for recording all my videos. It's already set at 720p, but I guess the problem is when I try to zoom in and the quality goes a little off. So I'm trying to increase the contrast and brightness. I'm trying my best to make sure the video is of max quality. So do not worry, but anyway, I appreciate this feedback. So if you see the recent video, I've actually increased the color saturation and all that. I've made it much more better. So I guess thank you for this feedback, and I appreciate it. And next, this is actually an important question. So can you please make a video on 2D games like Mario by Android Studio? So about making 2D games, I guess it's a long way to go. Android Studio 3.0 has better support for OpenGL, and OpenGL is the graphics library that you would use to make your 2D games. So definitely, I think if you are interested in making games, then Android Studio 3.0 is the upgrade that you need. Alright, so these are some of the doubts that all of you had asked me, and this was related to today's topic, so I picked them up. Okay, so installation has completed successfully. Click on next. And for those of you, if you are installing this for the first time and you do not have an older version of Android Studio, then thus everything will remain the same. So you may not get the first 3 dialog boxes. You will be directly sent to Android Studio setup, and make sure that when you install the setup, so the internet is on at all times, because Android Studio generally installs a lot of stuff on your first install. So make sure you give it complete internet, and you just leave it for some time, because the first installation will take a lot of time. And if you interrupt the installation, then there are a lot of things that go wrong, and later when you program, you won't know what the error is, how to solve it, so nothing happens. So Hello World app basically might seem like a very simple app, but to make sure that that is the first app that actually runs on Android Studio if everything has worked perfectly. So if the Hello World app is running perfectly fine, then you are good to go with Android Studio. So make sure that whenever you install this, internet is in its full connection, and you do not interrupt the install in any way. Okay, so if you are upgrading from previous version to the newer version, then you will be asked this. So import studio settings from this thing. So yeah, you should do this, because whatever settings that you have will be installed here. So you do not want to again put one more location. So just import the studio settings from your previous version and click on OK. Okay, so we have completed the installation. So why am I doing this other method? So this is only when you have a newer version of Android Studio released and it's still not showing up on your previous Android Studio. So you can upgrade it in this way. So no problems, you won't be losing any of your projects. So there you have it. We have successfully installed Android Studio 3.0. We have upgraded. So from now on, all my videos will be done on Android Studio 3.0. So if you have your older version, I recommend you to upgrade it. But anyway, all the work that you do in 2.3 will definitely work on Android Studio 3.0 as well. So do not worry. So when the installation was running, so basically there was this dialog box that popped up, and it asked me the following. So to take advantage of all the latest features, improvements and security fixes, we strongly recommend that you update the Android Gradle plugin to version 3.0.0 and Gradle to version 4.1. So if you remember, so it's actually running the previous project that I had opened. I have not done anything. So however it just loaded my previous configuration file. So if you remember, I had loaded the same configuration file when it asked previously in the prompt. So that's why it has opened login demo, and it's still running, but in between I had this dialog box which popped up, and just click on update. Guys, so when the Gradle build was running, so I had an error. Not an error, basically it's asking you to download the latest build tools. So you need not do anything, just click on this. Okay, so right now it's downloading. Alright, so it has installed all the required components. So click on finish, and now I guess this will be the last Gradle build. So it has been over, I think, 10 minutes or so. So I have another error. So what it says here is the specified Android SDK build tools version is ignored, as it you not actually worry what the error means. You just do as Android Studio asks you to do. So here it says that update build tools version and sync project. Yeah, just go ahead and do that. That's all. So you need not worry about how this has happened, what to do next, all that. So Android Studio basically has answers for everything. So just go ahead with whatever it says, whatever it asks you to do. Guys, when you install Android Studio, so you should probably be seeing the same kind of errors if you are upgrading from a previous to a newer version, because your projects will have different kind of Gradle plugins and Gradle builds. Will have your previous projects will basically have a different SDK version, different build tools and all that. So that's why I'll ask you to upgrade to the latest one. But if you are a new user who's installing Android Studio for the first time, I do not think you'll be getting all those errors. Even if you do, just make sure that you click on whatever Android Studio wants you to do, because Android Studio knows itself better. Alright guys, so Android Studio has finished building successfully. It took around 2 to 3 minutes after the previous error. So anyways, so my point is, as you can see, that this was the code that we had written in Android Studio 2.3 if you remember, and after upgrading, everything has remained the same. I have not made any changes. There were a couple of things that got added by itself, like Android Studio gives you 3.0 basically gives you clues on the parameters. So that's why it is displaying what this parameter stands for. Everything was added by Android Studio itself. I have not touched the code, and as you can see, I am not facing any errors with respect to code. So that way, I think this makes it clear that whatever projects that you have in Android Studio 2.3 will be safe and will also run on 3.0. So if you are on 2.3 and if you still want to continue with 2.3, so well and good, you can do that. Whatever code I write here will definitely work on that. So just make sure you ignore all this extra clues that comes along, which I do not type. Alright, so thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, so make sure you give it a big thumbs up. Also don't forget to subscribe so that you don't miss out on my future videos. I've also started a Twitter handle at DheerajKMTH, so make sure you follow me there, and it is a better platform for you to ask your doubts. So use the hashtag AskDK. I'll be posting stuff about when the video will be released, what are the different things that I'm doing. So everything about Professor DK, the updates will be posted on Twitter. So make sure you follow me there, and also comment below if you do not understand something and if you have anything that I should improve. So thank you guys for watching. Happy learning.